Okay, welcome to the workout. Today we're going to be doing a zero impact HIIT workout. That means no jumping around, no feet leaving the floor, any of that. And maybe you want to do that because you got sore knees, maybe you got sore hips, maybe you got a neighbour downstairs like I do and you don't want to be making noise first thing in the morning and waking them up. Or maybe when you do star jumps, you piss yourself. If that's your problem, get yourself doing some of those Kegel exercises with the, you know them ones? But that's another story. Anyway, this all looks a bit of a mess today. The camera's like that because me and my girlfriend just moved in here. Everything's still a bit all over the place, so I've got to find the only bit of space I can, and that's what's going on. Other thing I wanted to mention, I'm not even wearing proper workout stuff because I was getting dressed before and I thought, you know what? You don't need to. If you've got a comfy enough pair of shorts, an old top, you don't need to wait until you've got the right workout stuff or the right trainers. I'm not even wearing trainers to start working out. If this is the first video you've watched, or maybe you just started watching the start to see what it's all about and you've been waiting to get stuff to get started, don't. Get something on you've got in the house right now. Get started with this. It's going to be dead easy. It's going to be low impact. It's going to be no impact, and you'll be fine. So because it's got no impact, because there's no jumping around, no big energy, things like that, in this workout we're doing 8 exercises, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and we're going to do it 3 times a round. So it's going to take 24 minutes altogether. You're going to get a good workout. I'm going to be out of breath. So make sure you've got some water, make sure you're a bit warmed up, and we'll get going. So I'll press start on this timer. I'll turn the sound up a little bit so we can hear it on the video. So the first exercise we're going to do, kind of like star jumps, is a good warm up, but I call these, just made them up, star bends. So we're going to start up there and you're going to come down, touch the floor, go to the top, go to the bottom. So just like star jumps without the jump and with a bit of an extra bit at the bottom to make up for it. So we're going to start in 5 seconds. So your hands are touching up at the top that you can't see and then touching the floor. If you can't get to the floor, that's no problem. Maybe just bend your knees a little bit if you need to. But if you don't bend your knees, you get a bit of an extra stretch in the hamstrings, in the back of your legs. Five seconds left. This is a good warm up. Start again. That's a good warm up in itself. Getting your hamstrings, your glutes, all around your hips, your shoulders and your back all warmed up. The next exercise, squats. So nice and simple. Separate your feet out, chest up nice and tall. Get as low as you can before the point where your back starts bending. Okay, so if you can get this low, awesome. If you can only get this low, awesome. Do that as well because you'll get lower as you get better. Off we go, squats as low as you can. Get a nice stretch on the inside of those legs now. And with your hands, put them wherever you want. I always just put mine in front of me like this. Some people prefer them on the head. Some people put them out. Just do what you like. Working out first thing in the morning, which it is for me right now. Really get you out of breath when you haven't really done much else with the day. Okay, cool. It's 30 seconds of squats. Is the next one? Oh yeah. Bicycle crunches for the next one. So, lay down on your back. There's a few different levels we can do. First one, you just start here, feet up, knees bent. Knee to the opposite elbow. Then switch. What we're going to do is the second level. Legs out. Knee to the opposite elbow. Feet back down. Okay? Make sure this touches. That's where the good part is. That's what means you've got that proper crunch in here. That's where the work happens. Okay, cool. Staying on the floor, we've got push-ups. So turn yourself over, Remember, with push-ups, you can either do them on your knees or on your feet, wherever you're at. And by the way, if you can't do push-ups at all yet and you've watched one of the previous videos, jump over to your sink, do them on there. Okay, so we're doing it on your knees to start. See how we are this morning, or today, or this evening if it's the evening for you when you're watching this. Squeeze your bum, chest down to the floor, push back up. So we see there, we haven't got your elbows sticking out like this, because that just hurts. I've got my elbows quite close. I'm going back at about a 45-degree angle there. And then just drive through and bring yourself back up. Last couple seconds. Okay, staying on the floor. Next we've got the skydiver. You might be wondering what that is. You're going to lay on your front, look like a skydiver. So, all the muscles down the back of your body. Stick your legs out a little bit, stick your hands out. You're going to lift up your legs, lift up your arms, squeeze like a skydive, and come back down. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Ready? This one tends to really get you out of breath because you're laying on your belly, which is where you normally try and breathe. So we're working all the muscles right down the back of your body. Okay, next up we've got glute bridges. Back on your back. So with this, I want your heels to be where your fingertips are if your arms are straight, if you can get them there. And then all you're going to do, push down into those heels, squeeze the hamstrings, squeeze the bum, push up and come down. Got it? Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Squeeze in the bum. Give it a little poke if you want, make sure it's working properly. Feel it squeezing nice and hard. Okay, cool. Standing up. Finish this round on the legs again. Going to do the split lunge. Stand on your left leg. So remember, separate out your feet. Chest up nice and tall. Just bend both knees until that back one just about, or is just before, touching the floor, and then push back up. So with your back foot, your heel doesn't have to stay on the ground. Sometimes I like to put it back though, because it gives you a really nice stretch in your calf on each one. But if you can't do that, don't worry, maybe try and do it, and then it's just a bit of mini yoga in the middle of your workout to stretch that calf. So remember, nice and slow on the way down, keep it controlled. We don't want you falling down and breaking a kneecap, that's not ideal. Nice and steady. Okay, push back. And if you've got a mat like mine, you can see where your foot's just been. Try and put your other foot to the same point so you get the same distance between your legs as last time, so that it's the same difficulty for both legs. So same again, on the right leg this time, pushing back. So I mean, technically we've only got 7 exercises, but because we split one of them up, it works out to 8. And off we go, chest up, bend both knees, and push back. And by the way, when I said I haven't got any shoes on, so it doesn't even matter if you haven't got good trainers yet. Obviously if you're going out running and stuff like that, you're going to want something to protect the sole of your feet. But when you're in the house doing something like this, you don't need it. Okay, that's the end of round 1. You don't need shoes if you're just in the house. And also, it's going to strengthen your feet up, which is really important and can massively help with things like hip pain and back pain and knee pain that you might not expect. So when you're working out in the house, give the shoes a miss. Right, anyway, that's the first round done. Get yourself some water. Going back into those star bends. So remember, legs separated out, hands up, and then down to the floor. And up. Remember, if you need to, give your knees a little bend to get you all the way down to the floor. If not, give yourself a nice stretch in the back of your legs as you come down. So remember, this HIIT workout is only 24 minutes long. Can you fit 24 minutes into your day? Probably can. And remember, you don't have to put any fancy stuff on, you don't even need to get changed, you just need to get straight into it. So there's not even taking into account the time of getting changed or any of that. So, second one, squats. Chest up nice and tall, bend your knees, bend your hips, try and keep your back straight, as low as you can go, and back up. Do whatever you want with your hands. Ooh, feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Guess not. Ooh, maybe, no, I don't know. Woo! You know, when you get that sneezing feeling and you're in the middle of a conversation and you just start making that face like, but then it doesn't come and you just look weird. Yeah, that's what just happened for me. Alright, 5 seconds left on these squats. Cool. Alright. Down on the ground, bicycle crunches. I'm going to stick on that level 2. While I'm here, I'll show you what level 3 looks like. So level 3 is lifting this knee up, lifting that leg off the ground, so your legs are always off the floor, still getting that connection. And if you need to, remember, you can stick at level 1, and as you get stronger, you'll be able to move on to level 2 like this. And once this isn't a problem, you can get through a HIIT workout with these in it, and it's not an issue at all. Well, then you move on to level 3, make it a bit harder. By the way, if your neck hurts when you do things like this, make sure you got your chin tucked in, not doing this chicken thing. Okay, right, what's next? Push-ups. So, hands shoulder width apart, on the knees, squeeze your bum, chest comes down in between your hands, and push back up. Remember, try and keep those elbows either at your sides or at a bit of an angle there. We don't want them sticking out like this and your face coming in between your hands. It's no good for your shoulders. Remember, as with your squats and your lunges, nice and slow on the way down on this. We don't want you smashing your face into the floor. Cool, last one. There you go. What's next? Skydiver. Remember, laying on your belly, squeeze everything in your back, and then come back down. So just lay down for a minute, give yourself a rest. Woo. Legs out, arms out. Remember, we're squeezing everything all the way up. Ready? 5. 3 seconds to jump. Oh my god, I'm skydiving! If anyone's ever done a skydive, by the way, let me know, because I've always wanted to. Alright, what we got next? Glute bridges. on your back. Remember, heels where your fingertips are, with your arms out straight, if you can get in there. And then we're pushing down into those heels, also down into your shoulders. We're squeezing everything, same as on the last exercise, all of these to lift you up. So this is what we call a posterior chain exercise. Posterior meaning the rear, the back side of your body. So we're using all the muscles down there. Because all the time, a lot of the time, we do too much on the front, trying to work the abs, the chest, the arms, the quads, all the muscles we can see in the mirror. It's really important to do all these ones down the back as well. Alright, let's get up. Do our split lunges, left leg first. I'm going to separate those out. Standing up nice and tall, bending both knees, drop down towards the floor. Stand in 10 seconds. And then we're nearly at the end of round 2. And then we got one more to go. Ready? Off we go. Remember, keep it controlled all the way down. Keep it nice and steady. And the other reason for that isn't just so you don't bust a knee. It's also because things like this can tend to be quite wobbly if you're not used to them. And going fast just doesn't really give your brain enough time to register where you're going wrong. So if you slow down, your brain can think, oh, I went left at that point, I turned to the right at that point, and then I sat back up. I've got that, I'll make a note of that. Next time, I'll correct for that, so that doesn't happen, or it happens a bit less. That's how it works. You need to go slow before you can go fast. You need to crawl before you can walk. You need to walk before you can run. That's what we're doing here. We're retraining your body in that same way. Learning to crawl before we can run. Learning to split lunge before we can forward lunge. Learning to forward lunge before we can walk in lunge. Learning to walk in lunge before we can jump lunge. So all these bodyweight exercises, you know, people might tend to think, oh, bodyweight, that's really easy. But once you lay the foundation of one exercise, you can do a harder one. Once you've laid the foundation for that one, you can do a harder one. That's why when you see like those cool videos on Instagram of, you know, like those muscle dudes on the beach on the bars doing all crazy shit, they would have been the same as you were at some point. That's round 2, by the way. One more to go. Get some water if you want. You know, everybody starts somewhere. You know, those guys weren't born doing pull-ups coming over the bar. Star bends. If you're going to start wherever you start from, they might have just started earlier. Or maybe not. They might have started a few years ago. But they may well have been older than you when they started. You don't know unless you ask them. And you hear a lot of stories about people who started doing things, you know, what you might consider quite late on. And you look at them now and they're smashing it. It's never too late to change, it's never too late to learn. I didn't start learning how to play piano until summer last year. And then a couple of weeks ago, I played a song on the piano for my nan's funeral. Like, that was awesome. Like, I'm glad I was able to do that. But I only learned how to start doing things like that a year ago. You're starting now. Keep going. Oh, we're on squats, by the way. Workout's more fun when you got random bits of motivation in the middle. Life advice. Right, anyway, that's squats. We're back to bicycle crunches next. We're at the final round now. We've not got long to go. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna have to rush to get a shower and get myself ready for work. I didn't realise what time it was when I started. But it's alright, it's only 24 minutes long, no problem. Right, this is the wrong one. Bicycle crunches from here, level 2, remember. There we go. Touching, down. Remember, if you want to make it harder, lift up that other leg and switch. At the same time, if you want to make it easier, bend both knees and leave them there. Otherwise, stay down there at level 2. Right, next one, we're on the push-ups. Leg got a bit weird there. By the way, I dislocated this knee when I was younger, so it gets really weird sometimes. And I got to slip right back to basics with making it strong. It's one of those things. So you ever see me doing anything weird with this leg? That's why. So push-ups, hands shoulder width apart, squeeze your bum, chest in between, and push back up. Off we go. Try and keep those shoulders away from your ears. We don't want them coming up, we want them down. Keeping that shoulder blade in a good position. Less than 15 seconds left. Seconds? Where am I from? South Africa? That was a weird way to say that. Last one. Kadoosh. One more. There we go. Right. Skydiver. Lay on your belly. Oh my god, I'm falling. That's on. That one's next. So lay down. Grab yourself a little rest for a minute. Oh, that's nice. So remember, lift everything up. Lift everything up. I'm just gonna go sleep. Don't worry about me. Woo. Now I'm kidding. We're starting in 5 seconds. Squeeze everything and bring it slowly down. Ready? Off we go. And again, try and keep those shoulders down. Working everything down the back side of your body. Okay, that's the skydiver. 3 exercises left, glute bridge, both those split lunges, and then we're done. It's that weird knee again. Okay, glute bridge, fingertips just there, squeezing your bum, bam, squeeze that, bring it down. Ready? Stand in 2, 1, squeeze, and down. So yeah, I thought I was in work at 11 o'clock today. Turns out it's 10:30. I think it's already must be about 35 minutes past 9 now. So yeah, quick shower, straight to work for me. Right, split lunges. 37, I was so close. 9:37. Right, split lunges, left leg first. Pop that leg back, chest up nice and tall, bend both knees, and push back up. Ready? Just 2 more to go. Whoop. Little wobble there, don't worry about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Bend both knees. Do whatever you want with your hands. Put them up here if you really feel like it. Wave in the air like you just don't care. As long as this is doing what it needs to in the legs. I don't really care what you do with your arms. Put them behind your back, like some kind of butler lunges. Do you think that's an exercise? Did I just make that up as well? Maybe. Or just put them here like I do. Sometimes if I'm feeling wobbly, by the way, I find just putting this hand above this leg helps, but not using it to push. Don't know why, it's probably just a mental thing. Okay, switch sides. Mat's falling apart, oh well. Chest up tall, starting in 10 seconds, last exercise. I'm going to try and keep that back foot facing forwards. We don't want it like this, okay? Back foot facing forwards, chest up tall, off we go. And then bend, oh, wobble. See, even I still get wobbly sometimes. It's fine. What I always find with things like this, just find something to look at about a metre or two away from you. So I'm looking at my bathroom floor, one of the little square tiles on the lino. I don't know why, but looking at something about that far away, help you stay balanced, right? That's it. 3 rounds, 8 exercises, 0 impact, there's no noise on the floor, there's no jumping around, there's no wetting yourself. Pretty good session. So, yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say. Give it a go. Don't know why you wouldn't have given it a go. That would have been weird if you just watched the whole thing and didn't try it. If you did do that, if you skip to the end, go back, do it again. It's going to take you 24 minutes, 8 times 3, quick maths, and it's 24 minutes, just get it done. You've got loads of time, you can fit 24 minutes in. It's an episode of Corrie, it's an episode of Emmerdale, it's half of X Factor, I think. I don't know, I don't watch it. You've got that time, you just got to do it instead. Something else that's not important, okay? This is important. You feeling better, you looking better, you living better. That's what's important. So please just do it. 24 minutes. Anyway, I'm off to go get my shower so I can head off to work because I'm in a rush now. But I wanted to do this for you anyway. Bye.